Hello everyone, welcome back to SAP Navigator. In this video, we will discuss about one of the SDMM integration part. So that is individual purchase order, IPO process in SAP SD. Okay, how this individual procurement process happen in SAP SD that we will discuss in this video. So before going to our video, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel SAP Navigator. If you have any concerns, you can write an email to SAP Navigator for you@gmail.com. Let's get into today's topic. So first, we will try to understand what is individual purchase order. When the customer places an order, when the material is not available in stock, company procures from the material from the vendor, and that vendor delivers goods to the company, and company delivers goods to the customer. If you look at here, up to here, like up to the company procures the material from vendor, so that is similar to the third-party sales only. The only difference you will find it here is the here vendor won't deliver the goods directly to the customer. He will deliver goods to the company, and then company will deliver the goods to the end customer. And why IPO is required? So IPO will be used when the material must be purchased specifically for the one customer order. Usually, they will, for the remaining all customers, they used to give their own stock or their own manufacturing stock for only that particular customer. Like what are the specification that customer requires? So currently, that is not available with them, so that they will procure from the some external vendor. And also, when company don't want to give their customer details to the vendor. In third-party sales, like when the vendor delivers goods to the customer, so vendor knows about the customer whereabouts, like from where he is and what could be his address and all those things. So that next time customer directly places the order at vendor, not to the company. So there may be a chance of losing the customer also. So in that case also, company will prefer the IPO process over the third-party sales. And this is the process flow for the IPO. First, the customer places an order to the company, and then sales order gets created. That along with sales order, purchase requisition will be generated. So later, that purchase requisition we will convert as a purchase order, so that vendor gets notified, and then vendor do the delivery to the company. Then by in the form of MIGO. So when the MIGO is done, like goods will be inverted. So after that, company will do the outbound delivery to the customer on picking and PJ, and then company bills the customer. So this how entire IPO process flow will work. And we will try to understand the configuration steps that are required for the IPO process. So these are the configuration steps we have to perform for the IPO process. So these 11 steps. First, we have to define the item category. So there could be a separate item category for IPO process. That standard item category is a TAB. And then you have to assign the item category in the combination of sales document type, item category group, higher level item, usage. So based on that combination, you have to assign the item category group. And then you have to define the schedule line category. Schedule line category will be CB, standard schedule line category is CB for the IPO process. After that, you have to assign the schedule line. And then you have to, here, we have to create the requirement class and requirement type. So this requirement class and requirement type, what it will do, it will take the sales requirements. Okay, it will carry the sales requirements. And purchase info record. So purchase info record is, it could be optional, because like if you have a purchase info record, so so that vendor purchaser details will be copied automatically if there is any fixed vendor or those things. Okay. And item category group in the material master. This is the master setup you have to do. You have to maintain the item category group in material master. Okay. And that is the standard item category group is B, A, and C. Okay. We have to maintain the material master, and then that material should be extended to purchasing view. Okay. So after that, we have to define, we should have the purchase definite organization, because PO will be created on the purchase organization, and then you have to assign that purchaser to company code, and then you will assign the purchaser to the plant. Okay. These 3 steps we already did in third-party sales. If you haven't watched the video for third-party sales, I will tag the third-party sales video here. You just go there and watch it. Okay. I will use the same purchase org what I defined in third-party sales. Since same purchase org details, I will use it in this IPO process as well. We come to the SAP, and what is our first step? Define the item category. To define the item category, so let me go to the T code. To define the item category, you have to use Vivo V7. In the item category, what is our standard item category we have discussed? That is TAP. Okay, you can see description of individual purchase order. So this is the SAP standard item category. You can use this standard item category. Here the key things are special stock indicator. Special stock indicator will be used as E. What does E means? Let's see. E means orders on hand, which means it will only consume the stock which is already against the sales order. it won't consume the stock which has unrestricted or any free stock. Okay, there could be on-order stock. Only that on-order stock will be consumed. So that's how this heap will work. Why we are using this on-order stock only? Because we are procuring that particular material for the particular customer for the on a particular order. So we are not going to allocate the same stock to the other customer. And then billing relevance. Okay, if you look at the billing relevance is A. A means delivery related billing document. Whereas in third party sales, it is order related billing and status according to invoice counting. Okay, here we are companies doing the delivery. So in this, do the customer, so that we will have the delivery document as well. So billing will be generated based on the delivery amount, delivery quantity. Okay, and price relevance. Price you should have to act the pricing. Okay, so price is standard price we are activating. And then here you can see schedule lines are allowed. There could be schedule lines, so that we will have. So whenever the word comes schedule lines, you have to make sure keep make sure that like the both are delivery quantity and delivery date. Schedule is all about the delivery quantity and delivery dates. So when we are delivering the goods and how much we are going to deliver, and what could be the movement of the delivery quantity. So that will be designed by schedule line. And then here you can see create active. If there is any credit management active, you can activate this create active. Otherwise, you don't need to activate it. And if there is costing active, we have to check for the determine cost as well. Okay, save it. Save under TR. So once the item category is defined, then what we have to do? We have to assign the item category. How we will assign the item category? Under VO V4 transaction, you can see there is a combination sales document type, item category group, usage, higher level item. Based on this, we have to maintain default item category. So my sales document type is SAP and item category group. As I said, the standard item category we have to use BANC. Okay, see for the SAP and BANC, default item category is TAB. So this is already there. Okay, now we have assigned the item category as well. After that, now what is our step? Next step, our next step is to define the schedule line category. So to define the schedule line category, the T code is to Vivo V6. Go to Vivo V6. You have to remember these things, these T codes actually, because like for defining item category, schedule line category, and assignments. Because in real time, like when we are really working on actual words, so these actions can be repeated. You have to define number of item categories, number of schedule line category, and many number of determination processes as well. So every time you cannot go with the path, because if you go with the path, it will take a lot of time. Like node by node, you have to check it, so you have to go through it. So instead of this, so that's why definition of sales or documents, item category, scheduling category, and assignment of item category and scheduling category, you must know these T codes, so that your job will be easier. Now coming to scheduling category, the standard scheduling category is, as I said, is CB. CB means individual purchase order. This is the SAP standard scheduling category. This also you can use it. And here you can see moment type. So 601. So like other deliveries also, we will use 601 as a moment type, because goods already in our premises, and then the moment when you issue the PGA, when you do the PGA, ownership will be changed, right? So that 601 can be used. And here you can see order type as NB. What is this order type NB will do? This is NB order type for the purchase requisition. So whenever you want to create a purchase requisition along with the sales order, so here you will assign what type of order type you are going to use. Okay, and same order type you will be assigned for the third party sales as well. Okay, so in both the cases, purchase requisition order type is NB. If you have any custom order type, you can define it. And item category, you can see it as a standard item category 0. It is not a third party, right? So we don't have separate item category for the individual purchase order, so you can use the standard one. Okay, if it is in third party sales, it is a third party 5, right? And account assignment category has M. So which means so you are telling system that here you can see A, B, C, D, F, G, M is there. Individual customer order without costing. Okay, without costing, and if there is any costing involved, you have to mention the 0. It's not 0, sorry, it is 1. And this individual purchase order based on the individual customer order, based on the product also will be there. project make to order. So that accordingly you have to maintain it. And then you can see item relevant for delivery. So here the vendor deliver goods to the customer, vendor won't deliver goods to the customer, vendor deliver goods to the company, and then company doing the OBD to the customer, which means we are having the real delivery here. So that's why we have checked this checkbox. If you look at the third party sales, there will be no checkbox for the item relevant for delivery. Okay, let me show you that as well. Okay, what is our scheduling category for this thing? Third party sales, it is CS. See, CS item category, it is not relevant for delivery because there is no delivery OBD involved in third party sales. And also you can see the account assignment category also, third party account assignment category. Where is in ECC system, like you can see the this account assignment category as the one who is there, but in S4HANA we don't have that thing here. And third party sales, we don't have any momentum because there is no delivery involved, whereas CB we are having the momentum. Okay. So during the interview also, interviewer might ask you what could be the difference between third party sales and individual purchase order in the form of schedule line category. So then you can say that in third party sales schedule line categories, there was no moment type is mentioned because there was no customer delivery is there. And also, item is not relevant for delivery. So we won't check the checkbox for item relevant for delivery. And account assignment category also, in third party sales, it is third party account assignment category, whereas we're coming to IPO, it is individual customer order. But coming to the moment type under item relevant for delivery, yes, IPO at the schedule line category CB is relevant for delivery, and then we will be having moment type as well, 601. That's how you can tell to interviewer. Now we have defined the schedule line category. Now what we have to do, we have to assign the schedule line category. So how we will do assignment in Vivo V5 transaction? Schedule line category will be assigned in the combination of item category and MRP type. So what is our item category? TAB. And MRP type could be either ND or no PD. Okay. So ND means without planning. You can see ND means no planning. PD means forecast consumption. There also no planning. Okay. So either ND or PD. So schedule line category we have maintained CB. If the item category is TAB and MRP type is ND or PD, the schedule line category CB will be determined automatically. This MRP type we will maintain at the material master level. Now up to here, up to assign schedule line category we have done. So now here comes a new thing called requirement class and requirement type. So what is requirement class and requirement type will do? So requirement class will take the sales requirement to the requirement list to the MD04. There is a T code called MD04. There you can see all the requirements. So it will transfer the requirement to the MD04 requirement class. And then requirement type. So what does requirement type will do? Requirement type will use to determine the requirement class. Okay, in sales order level, you will only see the requirement type, but not requirement class. So once the requirement type came to the sales order, then it backend the settings from the requirement type, requirement class can be determined. So we will define both requirement class and requirement type. Let's go to the SAP. So in SAP, if you go to IMG screen, here inside you can see sales and distribution. Under sales and distribution, you will be having the basic function. Under basic function, you will have availability check and transfer of requirements. I already made a video on availability check in both standard availability check as well as the advanced availability check. So if you haven't watched the video, please go and watch the videos for the availability check here. I will tag this video as well. And then here under the availability check and transfer of requirements, you can see transfer of requirements. You just expand it. Here you can see the configure requirement class. The requirement class for the standard requirement class for the IPO process is KEB. Okay, if you double click on it, you will go to detail screen. Under KEB, you can see that availability check is active and requirement transfer is active. Okay, these are the things we have to keep in mind. And here also you can see the special stock indicator as a E. Yes, E means the orders on hand. Okay. In item category level also, we are maintaining the special stock indicator as E, and here also we are maintaining the special stock indicator as E. Why we are maintaining at two places? The thing is, in sales item category, why we are maintaining E means you are telling system to consume only the stock which is tagged against the sales order, which is allocated against the sales order. That is the purpose of special stock indicator at the item category. Here requirement class is, so we are telling system to take the requirements against the created sales order. Okay, so transfer the requirements against the sales order created. So that's why we will maintain here. And here you can see account assignment category, that also IPO, individual customer order, IPO. And apart from that, there is nothing more to configure here for the requirement class. This is enough for it. And then you have defined the requirement class. How requirement type will be determined based on the requirement type. So now here you can see the requirement type. So for the KAB requirement class, we have the KAB requirement type. So in most of the cases, we will having the same, we will define the same requirement type in the requirement class. Okay. This requirement type will be determined to sales order, and then based on that requirement type, requirement class will be determined. Okay. You might have asked me why we are determining requirement type and then from the requirement class. Why can't we determine directly requirement class? Sometimes SAP gives that kind of determination, which makes no sense at all. But ultimately, we have to follow what are the SAP has given the provision. Okay. Even I used to think about, well, why can't we directly determine requirement class? Why SAP is not given option to determine requirement class directly instead of taking requirement type? If you look at the requirement type here, it is nothing but one of the parameter which is assigned to the requirement class. So if you double click, there is no controls inside the requirement type. And here, how requirement type will be determined to the sales order. Requirement type will be determined to sales order based on the item category and MRP type. Okay. So what is our item category? Our item category is TAB and MRP type is ND. So for TAB and ND, requirement type KEB will be determined. From the KEB, requirement class will be determined. Here you can see source requirement type. Actually, requirement type will be determined in two ways. One is metal master strategy group, and then on metal item category and MRP type. So there is a three ways. The first like one is by strategy group it will be determined, and second thing is item category group and MRP type it will be determined. So if you maintain 0, first it will check for the is there any requirement type mentioned at item metal master strategy or not. If it is not, then it will come to second combination. And if you mention 1 here, it will directly check the combination for item category and MRP type. This combination. And if you mention 2, it is same as this thing, but it will check allowed requirement type or not. Okay, if the requirement type is allowed or not, it will check, and then only it will apply. In our sales process, like we will use this thing only. We will use item category plus MRP type combination only. Okay, now we have defined the requirement type and requirement class as well. So what is our next step? So these 4 steps are pending. Assigning the item category group at a metal master, and then make sure that purchasing view has been extended. Okay. After that, we have to define purchase or you cannot extend the purchasing group at metal master without defining it, right? So let's make it as a last step. Okay. If you define the purchase org and assign the purchase org to company code and plan, then only you can extend the metal master to purchasing view, right? So I will make it as a last step. So these 3, if you look at the purchasing org, creation, definition, and assignment to company code and plan, I already did third-party sales. So that's why I'm not doing it here, so that we can save some time. Now let's come to our last part. Okay. So I already created and extended on material. Let me show you that material. Okay. Select data. Somebody defaulted it. Okay, let me enter my plant storage location, sales organization, distribution channel. So here you can see in the sales org 2, you have to make sure that item category group should be B, A, and C. You have to make sure item category group B, A, and C, so that then only our item category will be determined. Otherwise, our item category TAB won't be determined. This IPO process won't happen. And the second thing is you have to make sure that our material extended to purchasing view. So here material extended to purchasing view as well. Okay. Now let me create the sales order. So our configuration setup is done and our master data setup also done. One more master data is to create the vendor. So that creating vendor will take care of it. Okay, if you want it, I will show you how to create the vendor as well in detail. But that I already covered in business partner. Okay, if you haven't watched it, you just go and watch it. So business partner configuration also there. Why we need a vendor? Because whenever you create a PO, so we have to give the vendor code as well from which vendor you are going to procure that material. Now let me go to VA01. Let's create a sales order. This is the sales order. SAP FI FF. Okay. I will give you my customer here. Material. Okay. Let me give price as well. Let me check for the incompletion log. Okay, document is completed. If I go to schedule lines, here you can see requirement tab. Purchase requisition item has been generated, which means the moment you save it, purchase requisition will be created. Okay, so all the three quantity confirmed. Okay, all the three quantity confirmed here. So and then purchase requisition also will be generated. Our item category TIB got determined. From the TIB, CB got determined. And one more thing I want to show you is requirement type. Okay, where you will check the requirement type is in the sales order screen. Here you can see procurement tab, right? Under the procurement tab, you can see KEB. This is our requirement type. So KEB got determined. Based on KEB, our requirement class will be determined. So if you look before that, I want to show you the one more screen called MD04. MD04. So this is for the stock requirement list. We have to give our material and what is our mark area, SAPN. See, there was no requirement right now. You can see that there was no requirement right now because I haven't created any sales order. So this requirement type will transfer the sales requirement of 3 quantity to the MD04 after saving the sales order. Okay, so that's how this KEB will be used. Let me save it. Okay, I have saved. Sales document has been created. Okay, and also let's check the scheduling category. So let's check the schedule lines. Under schedule lines, purchase requisition has been created. Okay, and also now MD04 there is no sales requirement, right? So you see, the moment when I refresh the screen, here you can see refresh icon, right? The moment I refresh the screen, here sales requirement will be displayed. See, I'm refreshing it. See, this is our sales order 506. Okay, this is 506 2506, and under this purchase requisition 3 quantity has been created. See now 842 is our purchase requisition. Against 842 purchase requisition is created. Now where is the requirement? Now requirement is in the purchase requisition, not at the sales order. See, now the requirement is at the purchase requisition. So why we need to transfer this requirement to MD04? So that somebody at the stock or warehouse, so he will run this MD04 on daily basis or month, okay, on hourly basis, so that he can get to know the sales requirements, like sales requirement, production requirements, all those requirements he will get to know here, so that he will take the necessary next action. Okay, so now what we have to do, we have to convert this purchase requisition to the PO. Okay, let me copy this to the PO. Now if you click on the element details here if you can see purchase order icon, right? So if you click here, it will take you to the purchase order creation screen, or else you can go to ME21N and create the purchase order from there as well. Okay, now before that you just observe that requirement quantity 3 quantity as reserved against the purchase requisition. Now after creating the purchase order, that quantity will be reserved against the purchase order. Okay, see, let me create the purchase order. I click on purchase order, so it will take you to the purchase order creation screen. So it automatically took the purchase order creation screen. And here, where is your purchase requisition field? So here is our purchase requisition. Okay, and storage location. Okay, so here if you observe that how this supplier came automatically from the info record that I mentioned. So here 10023 same supplier came to the purchase order creation, right? So how we came based on the info record. So this info record will fetch the certain details automatically. That's why this info record will be created. Or else if you don't have it, you can change the supplier and you can enter the another supplier as well. Now purchase order. Let me save the purchase order. Save. So purchase order has been, you can see standard PO created under the number this 1378. Now, if I refresh the screen, you observe that if I refresh the screen, now you can see purchase requisition, right? So this purchase requisition will be gone, and then in the place of purchase requisition, PO will be displayed. PO number 78, right? You just observe it. I'm clicking refresh. See, earlier it is purchase requisition. Now it became PO item 1378. That requirement quantity displayed against the PO. Now, what we can do, what is our next step? How goods will be inverted based on the GR only. Okay, so you can select this PO. There it is 1378, right? You can take this PO. Now you can do the goods inward. Okay, now how we will do goods inward? MIGO transaction, and you have to select goods received against the purchase order. So give the purchase order, press enter. Now total how much quantity? 3 quantity. All the details copied from the PO. You have to check the item. Okay. Okay. If you don't check it, system will say to see you haven't flagged any items is okay. You have to check the item. Okay, and then post it. Now material document has been posted. Now let's observe the requirements. So now it is in PO item, right? If I refresh it, this PO will be gone. See, PO has been gone. Where's the requirement went? There is no requirement because against the sales order, already 3 quantity is there in our system. So for this sales order, we are already having the available quantity as a 3. Okay, so same will be updated as stock as well. So let me check the stock overview at MMBG. This is our material and this is our plant. Execute. See, stock got updated at 3 quantity and that stock is sales order stock. So if you go to detail display, you can see 2506. So this stock can only be used against this sales order 2506 sales order. So this is our 2506 sales order. Right? You cannot allocate the same stock to the another sales order unless it got transferred. Okay. That's what special stock indicator E will be work. Now this is done. Let me close it. Oh. Now let me come to the sales order. Let me close this extra. So now purchase requisition converted as a PO and then MIGO is done. Vendor invoice is pending, so you can do it later. Now what we will do, I will deliver the codes. You just click on the delivery from here or else you can create the cell delivery from VL01 end. Okay, under the picking section, you can pick the quantity 3. Do the PGA. Now PGA has been done. What is our next step? Final step, customer invoice VL01. We observe that there is no relation for the vendor invoice for creation of the customer invoice. It is independent of the vendor invoice. Okay, now save it. Before that, I want to show you one thing, like I forgot to show you, that is the copy control settings. The copy controls between the delivery and invoice, which means not VTFM. VTFM, yeah. Delivery and invoice. You have to maintain the copy control settings between the delivery and invoice. Okay, what is my delivery document type? So what is my billing type? SIN, and delivery document type. LF. Here, here it is. So we have to maintain this copy controls. Then only system will allow to do the billing. Now let's save it. That's it. Now we have completed the entire cycle of the purchase, individual purchase order. If you look into the document flow, we should come from the sales order. So if you look into the document flow, the purchase order also gets updated in the document flow. See, we have created the sales order and then PR created automatically that converted to purchase order and then delivery, picking, PGA and then invoice. Customer invoice has been done. Okay. And if you look into the purchase order, here under the purchase order history, you can see that what are the next actions performed for the purchase order. So after purchase order, we have created the MIGO document, goods receipt as well. So this is the goods receipt document. If you double click on it, it will take you to the goods receipt screen. Okay, what it is still what pending for the this PO? Vendor invoice. You can create the vendor invoice for it. Okay, I go to MIRO, enter the purchase order, enter. So invoice date you have to give. See here 1800 balance negative in error case. So we have to match the 1800 PO. We have to match the PO value and tax code and baseline date from which date payment dates are effective. Okay, and business as well. Save it. Now it is green, right? Now we can save the vendor invoice. See, document has been created. So vendor invoice also generated. Now if I again come to PO, I need 23N. If you look at the purchase order history, the vendor invoice also got updated. Okay, so this is how individual purchase order process runs in SAP. So let's look into the difference between third-party sales and IPO sales, so that it will be helpful for your interview as well. Okay, I just give you a brief on about it. So these are two process. One is IPO process and second one is third-party process. In IPO process, vendor delivers to the company. Okay, whereas in the third-party sales, vendor won't deliver to the company. It will deliver goes to the customer. And then goods receipt. In IPO, yes, we are having goods receipt. Then only stock will come inward. So the same stock will be used against the customer order. And third party, either you will do MIGO or not. Like either you will do statistical MIGO or you won't do any MIGO in here. So it is not necessary. Even if it is a MIGO is there, that is always statistical only. And inventory updated, yes, it will be updated. How? Because like while doing MIGO, your stock will be updated, right? Here there is no inventory and there is no outbound delivery in a third party sales. We are creating outbound delivery for the IPO sales. PJ is there. Yes, PG also there. If there is OBD is not there, PG also not there here. And billing. So here billing, how billing will be done? Billing will be done based on the delivery quantity. After PGA, then after PGA you can do the billing. That also how much quantity you have created the OBD, customer delivery. That quantity only you can do the billing. But coming to third party, billings only depends on the billing relevance. Okay. Either by vendor confirmation, which means MIGO or else vendor invoice quantity, how much quantity we have done the MIRO, so that quantity are the based on the statistical MIGO. So these kind of things will affect the billing relevance in third party sales, whereas in IPO billing relevant based on the delivery document only. Coming to standard item category, so it is TAB and TAS. And yes, moment type is there in IPO, there won't be any moment type in third party. Okay, so if someone asks one line description, one line answer about the what difference between IPO and third party sales, you can say in third party sales, directly vendor ship deliver goods to the customer, whereas IPO sales, company procure this for the sale, particularly for sales order, so that vendor deliver goods to the company and then company deliver goods to the customer, and the stock is will be considered as a sales order stock. So that's it for today, guys. Hope you understand the IPO sales for it. So if you have any queries, please feel free to write a comment under the video. I will answer each and every question under the comments. Thank you, guys. Have a good day.